Hi everyone. So we're back with another episode. This time we thought we would talk about the National T20, which actually was a pretty fun tournament to follow. We're just coming off of the England series, and I think this was a good segue into some domestic cricket, along with some IPL that's going on, some good distraction from what's happening in the world right now. A lot of really interesting talent on exhibit during this tournament. But before we jump into that, wanted to introduce you to a new talent of ours, Asad, who is joining us as a guest appearance in on this episode. So without further discussing it, let's jump into what everyone thought about the tournament itself. Asad.
Hi guys, thanks for having me. So the tournament was amazing, and the one thing that stood out for me was
Matlab,
Shan
they don't
Masood's
really have a say in having
captaincy.
you. Okay,
In
sorry.
was Shan Masood's captaincy. I think he played really well, and he captained really well. उसने सबसे अच्छी जो चीज की थी was before qualifying for the semi-final, he sent Shoaib Maqsood, who was in sublime hitting form, to open the innings, and uski wajah se they made the score of 116 within 12.3 overs, which was looking very, very impossible. So I think he did a fabulous job, and his captaincy really stood out.
It was a pretty crazy game, to be honest. No one expected Southern Punjab to win that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think for me, what stood out was like I was looking for batting talent because that's something that we've lacked over the last few years. So this tournament से ये अच्छा हुआ कि I mean I've seen at least 3 or 4 young guys जो we haven't seen in the international game who really batted in like the sort of T20 format that we want to see them in.
mhm.
So I think that's a good sign कि जो younger batsmen हैं they don't have the same hang-ups as like the senior guys have in terms of going between different formats. So that was good to see. Yeah, I think we have like a few really good hitters that
Like,
have come out. And sorry,
on who impressed you?
yeah, I thought Abdullah Shafiq was really good from the Punjab team. Usne a couple of innings where he was really hitting them out to the park. Khushdil Shah was, I mean, is not new. ये क्या कहते हैं इंग्लैंड टूर के ऊपर भी था, but I don't think he played a game. He was good. He really hit well. Um, I thought
Danish Aziz.
Danish Aziz.
Danish Aziz with that crazy last over. Um, but yeah, I think he was a good hitter. But also generally, I think some of the younger guys, I think एक जो हफीज और शोएब मलिक की जो जनरेशन है, उसके अंदर you don't see the same sort of the same sort of like T20
But
like
yeah, I mean, so I know you don't like Hafiz and Shoaib Malik, but they kind of won the final for them today.
यार अब
Um,
यही एक that was one of the only negative things about this tournament. At the end of the day, वही सारे हमारे पुराने जो हैं वो they come up.
Hafiz,
But
Malik, and Wahab Riaz.
Hafiz, Wahab Riaz, I mean, I still think, I mean, I think he's worked on his game. The other two were like just annoying to see how, they've survived. And I mean, I
Okay,
think we were talking about this earlier with like those dropped catches, which really benefited Hafiz. उसकी वजह से उसको काफी आज जो है runs मिल गए.
Hafiz has also been on an international T20 on the
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's been in monster form. He's like
I know.
averaging 90 plus or something ridiculous. Or he's anyway. For me, I think someone who stood out a lot was actually Rizwan. Rizwan and Imam. I think this was a good platform for them to say that we're not just test players. We can, play with the best Pakistan has to offer in T20, and we are pretty handy. The unfortunate thing now is that we have four openers who all bat exactly the same way. Who are pretty steady. They score at 120 plus, 130 plus. Though in their defense, Rizwan was
कौन
batting.
कौन चार की बात कर रहे हो? किस name पे?
Babar,
Hmm.
Imam, Rizwan, and who's our fourth? maybe not a fourth, but the three, okay.
Bhai,
Um,
Fakhar Zaman is the player of the
but
tournament, bro.
I'm talking about just these three, just
Hmm.
like with the similar style, right? Who? Oh, also Sean. How did I forget Sean? That was the fourth one.
Abid Ali.
Well, Abid Ali to alag ki story, right? But this guy, these are four senior players, or four guys um, who are constantly, like in my opinion, showing that they're good enough to be a T20 opener. Unfortunately, they're all fighting for one slot because the other slot is slated for someone who is either a Fakhar Zaman or a Sharjeel Shah, who's going to go out there and blast. I
But I
think
don't know. I wouldn't include Imam in that list. I mean, Imam had a couple of good innings, but he wasn't. I mean, I don't. Huh?
I think
I don't.
he only
He,
missed 50 in like one game or something.
I
नहीं.
think he was good, but I think he was also he didn't have the same sort of attacking intent in power play as like
Hmm.
say someone like Fakhar did. Like I think Imam did make a case for himself for like the ODIs. Um,
He's not taking that spot from Fakhar, right? The Fakhar and Sharjeel spot is we have that one dimensional thinking कि एक ओपनर जो है वो steady खेलेगा और एक ओपनर जो है वो लपाड़ेगा.
hmm,
Or we've had that same philosophy now since 2007. Um,
right.
and
But if we're
so
talking about T20, the T20 का एक opener तो is always Babar Azam. So you only
exactly.
have one other spot, which would either be a Fakhr, Imam, Sharjeel, either of
Hmm.
these.
What I was saying was that Imam, Babar, Rizwan, and Shan are all fighting for the same slot, one
Yeah,
slot,
but if you have
and
Babar,
Fakhr
then
and
that debate is useless though.
exactly,
Exactly. Babar
you
is not
know.
fighting for any spot. वो तो
So
captain है.
here are my thoughts then, right, on this. Then why can't we play? I mean, we have this chronic issue of who's going to be our wicketkeeper batsman. Why can't we play with Rizwan as an opener and Babar as our second opener, and not have that Fakhar Zaman play at the opening slot?
I mean, Rizwan is not like a the hitter in the same mold as
But they're both
um,
batting at over 150. Who cares if they're
yeah,
not smashing it out of the ground?
but you need one basher, right? You need one like Fakhar slash Sharjeel sort of guy with Babar.
या वो
Right.
कितना चलते हैं इंटरनेशनल में like कितने रन बनाते हैं
हाँ,
वो वही
यार मतलब you have to only attack the power play, right? So you need those 6 overs. So you
Hmm.
need one guy who can bash for like the first 6 overs. So I think Fakhar kind of stole the show pretty much towards the end and made a case for himself, which was
Shajil was
surprising
very
because
disappointing.
yeah, Sharjeel I think had one innings where he was good, but
Yeah.
I think the defining one was the Shaheen ball to Sharjeel. I don't know if
Bold.
you guys saw that.
That
I
was
did.
That
amazing.
was that was amazing.
I mean,
And
Shaheen was brilliant throughout the tournament. He was a leading wicket taker.
amazing.
Leading
Yeah,
wicket taker. He was a little expensive at the final, but still had 3 wickets.
I know.
खैर वो जो expensive था वो आधे तो रन उसके third man के area से निकले
Hmm.
on edges. But fucking love that kid.
I'm worried that they're overplaying him though. He's
Hmm.
playing way too much. सारे वो टेस्ट भी खेल रहा है, ODI T20s खेल रहा है, अभी इंग्लैंड से खेल के आया है, ये पूरा
Hmm.
टूर्नामेंट खेला है.
Hmm.
इस tournament में they rested him for I think 1 or 2 games, but generally yeah उसका workload काफी crazy है.
He I think he'll be. I mean, there's a break coming now. I think we're going to New Zealand. What is it? And no, we're not going to New Zealand. I thought we
No,
were
we
No,
are,
going.
but
Zimbabwe is coming first.
Zimbabwe is coming up right
Hmm.
now, and I think he's gonna play that.
I'm pretty sure he will.
Hmm.
Fakhr फिर 200 करेगा.
Let's
फखर
talk
के लिए तो
about
भाई
let's talk about our fielding in this tournament. मतलब
There
it,
were two extremes. एक end पे तो they were taking these amazing, superb catches, one by Shoaib
रिजवान
Malik
वाला
today. Then
रिजवान वाला
Rizwan took the other
हाँ.
superb catch.
there was
और on
another
दूसरी
KPK.
extreme पे they were dropping sitters and बहुत सारे misfields.
Yeah, it was like a classic throwback to Pakistan cricket के मतलब
Everything.
कैच जो है वो yeah everything was like a throwback. मैं तो देख रहा था कि the
Like
contrast
पसीना
between
आ
this
जाए.
and the contrast between this and IPL was so fun to watch दूसरी
Yeah.
साइड के ऊपर तुम्हें एबी डिविलियर्स जो है he's hitting it out of the park and fielders and God knows what not, और यहाँ पे full मतलब पाकिस्तान cricket on offer, straight up catches being dropped. Mohammad Hafiz, Shoaib Malik turning it on. लेकिन हाँ, you're right, the fielding was really bad, like especially like the catches. Even in the final, ये जो हफीज के तुम अभी हम बात कर रहे थे
Hmm.
कि दो ऐसे catches थे which were crazy. I don't know if you guys also heard the commentary.
Yeah,
So
Ramesh Raja.
Ramesh Raja being this snarky guy, मतलब भाई, मतलब एंड के अंदर तो वो जो एक्चुअली जो पकड़ा था उसके अंदर भी कह रहा था कि यार मुझे नहीं लगता ये कैच होगा.
जब वसीम अकरम भी कमेंट्री कर रहा था तो उसने भी काफी मजे के कमेंट्स किए थे इस टाइप के.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
actually,
I have to
speaking of
say,
Wasim Akram and bad fielding, another topic was I saw a lot of no balls being bowled as well, which is not something that our team bowls a lot of on the international arena. But a lot of them being bowled in the T20 tournament, um,
mm,
which was, I mean, worrying. Like, matlab, these guys are supposed to be the best of the,
Professionals.
yeah. Um, but okay, um, did anyone have a pick other than Shaheen?
mm.
Other than Shaheen, because everyone, I mean, Shaheen is awesome. Everyone is supposed to have him as the favorite bowler on in this call. Who was another pick for you guys in terms of bowling? Did you guys have a pick?
यार, I thought ये जो साउथ पंजाब का एक स्पिनर था, he was really good today. क्या नाम है इसका? I'm
The
forgetting the
lefty?
name. I think, yeah, I think he was good. I think Zahid was his name.
I think
Uh,
so.
I think he was really good. I mean, the established bowlers were all obviously, Wahab, Wahab ne wickets लिए. Haris Rauf took like a few wickets as
Mm.
well.
Haris
Imran,
Rauf was the second
hmm,
highest wicket taker. Yeah, he
uh,
stood out.
yeah, all of
I
KP's bowlers were, pretty good. Shinwari bhi theek thaak hi tha.
mm.
Imran Khan, blast from the past.
Why
He
was he
did
keeping
quite well.
swing? He was
Huh?
swinging the ball like crazy.
Yeah, I
It
can see
was.
why they pick him for the Pakistan team, because he looks really good in domestic cricket. लेकिन
What
ये
about
this Zahid guy was actually quite good.
so
Uh,
one guy that I liked was and I've liked him in the past as well. Hassan from Sindh. He's again a left arm spinner. He was in the same team. He was captain. He captained the under 19 team that Shadab played for. So him and Shadab were captain vice captain. He was again. I thought he was pretty impressive. This other guy, so Shadab, I thought was actually a pretty decent. He was picking up wickets. He was expensive, but he was picking up wickets. Um, Yasir Shah sucked, and
Yasir Shah, white ball man,
yeah.
always
Um,
never good.
I thought so.
Back.
There was this bowler in I don't even remember his name. He was also horrendous. He's Southern Punjab ki team mein tha. He was bowling some of the last few overs. They were getting smashed around, and he was horrendous as well. I think Imran नाम था उसका. नहीं, वो तो दूसरा इमरान था. खैर,
For South Punjab,
एंड में he was bowling really bad.
Imran.
Really bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Batsman mein, can we talk about Azam Khan and what people's thoughts are?
I thought he batted well.
Obvious.
I
Yeah.
thought he batted well. I mean, obviously, like we do give him a lot of. I mean, उज़ैर होता अभी तो कहता है वो टोन निकली हुई है, ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है. उसका तो फिटनेस पे सिर्फ दिमाग चलता है और कहीं जाता ही नहीं है. But I mean, this is not. This is still a skill-based sport more than a fitness-based sport. Um,
Would you
and
see him making it to the Pakistan? Do you guys see him making it to the
not right
team at
now.
some point?
I
Not
don't
right
नहीं,
now.
think so.
obviously, but
Yeah. But maybe,
yeah.
maybe if he continues down this trajectory, because there's a dramatic improvement between the last PSL and now,
Hmm.
and the PSL before this as well. I think when he played a little bit, um,
Hmm.
he's clearly getting a little bit more comfortable playing with the big boys, and I'm hoping that he continues on that trajectory because we obviously need that power hitter lower down the order.
Yeah, yeah. Any other batsman that stood out to you? I mean, I know I spoke about this at the top, but
I mean, one guy who I really like, but um, does all right in these. I mean, he's playing the wrong tournaments, but Talat Hussain for me, I still see him as
hey,
like
Talat.
यार वही ऊपर नीचे नाम हो जाता है उसका. Hussain Talat is someone who I think would be a really good ODI player because
Hmm.
he actually does bat at like close to 100 strike rate, comes in the middle, has a plays that innings where आपको पता नहीं चल रहा but run बन रहे हैं. जल्दी जल्दी बन रहे हैं. And
Hmm.
those innings though they kind of go unnoticed in T20 cricket or are underappreciated in T20 cricket. Um, but I think are super valuable in ODI cricket. Um,
Hmm.
and I think
Yeah, I think he batted well.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's basically in that spot that Haris Sohail kind of has, though.
But
Very similar.
Haris Sohail, there were one or two innings of his that were just ridiculously good.
Hmm.
उसका वो जो एक्स्ट्रा कवर के ऊपर से वो जो मारता है वो
Hmm.
चपेड़ that just is brilliant.
The World Cup
I
shot.
was a little disappointed with Heather Ali. उसके लिए
Yeah.
expectations बहुत high थी.
Hmm.
He didn't
Wasn't he
quite deliver.
injured for a while in the middle as well?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he didn't really get going.
Yeah. And then the
Hmm.
other batsman that I noticed was Danish Aziz. So he played very well in like 2 or 3 innings, but I could never understand why was Sarfaraz sending him at 5 down. That didn't really make sense.
But that should be a good pivot to the captaincy topic. Khurram, your favorite captain, Sarfraz.
I mean,
What are your reviews?
I, I mean, he got that team to this. He was the first team. They were the first team to make it to the semis, if I'm not mistaken.
And they were the
And,
worst team,
and they
so
were
he
by
definitely
far
did
the worst.
something right.
He was definitely captaining well. They just got hammered by KP in the semis. They had no answer. Um, I think Rizwan.
Yeah.
I thought Rizwan captained really well. I think Shan captained really well. And here's what I
Hmm.
want to say about Rizwan. Rizwan took off his gloves a few times and gave his junior keeper an opportunity to play. He came out onto the field. Um, he
Opened, man.
he
Put
opened the
himself at the
batting.
top of the order.
He opened the batting. He showed that he is a player of high quality. Um, I still don't think he is the best keeper going around. He might be the best keeper in Pakistan, but I do think he is probably the best fielder in Pakistan who can also put on some gloves and do well behind the stumps. But given where we are in world cricket right now, I think that is more than good enough. And I think I mean, he deservingly won the tournament as well.
Right.
Um,
Hmm.
not not denying the fact that half of the Pakistan team was playing for him, but he also performed well with the bat
Yeah.
individually and did well behind the stumps.
Yeah. I
Um,
think I think the two teams in the final were the two best captains as well. That's probably one of the things that contributes to where both teams were.
असद ने वो
Shan
जो
bhi hai.
बोला था शान का I think Shan was
हाँ.
good that thing because of the way that he especially the semi-final I thought the sacrifices the personal sacrifices that or not sacrifices but putting the team front
Hmm.
was good.
And the fact that they had a shit bowling, man. Like they had probably
Horrible.
the worst bowling. To get to the final, I think is that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Horrible
With
ball.
that sort of bowling, they should not have even reached the semifinals. I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
200 तो इतने आराम से concede कर रहे थे हर दूसरे मैच में.
They
They were getting
almost
hit a lot.
lost two games having made 200 in the first innings.
Yeah.
The दूसरी गेम में 2 रन से बच गए थे. पहली एक
Which
एक
makes me, yeah.
yeah.
It was sad to see Abbas bowl, man. Like I love Abbas as a test bowler, but as a T20 bowler, the guy is just hopeless. उसका सारा ब्रांड खराब हो जाता है T20 में खेल के.
I have
Anyway,
we have a common friend who was shitting on Shan and Abbas playing T20. And I had to text him this morning, reminding him कि यार वही पहुंचे हैं final में.
Talking of T20, what do you guys think of this Azhar Ali? Well, not a controversy, लेकिन ये thing going viral about him defending
Asad
Shafiq,
Shafiq.
Asad Shafiq. हाँ, देखा तुम लोगों ने?
I just read the
What did
headline,
you
didn't
think?
really read the details. क्या scene है?
I mean, he was commentating when Asad Shafiq was batting. तो दूसरा commentator कहता है कि
Basically nailed you.
उस दूसरे commentator ने बोला कि असद शफीक को जो है वो they gave him a chance over Saud Shakil, who was a younger
हाँ.
batsman.
And
तो
who
उसने
was
बोला
playing
कि
well.
देखें आप, हाँ, who had like I think a couple of good innings. तो उसने बोला कि आप देखें फिर से असद शफीक को चांस दे रहे हैं. And अजहर अली जो है वो बिल्कुल इमोशनल हो गया कि भाई नहीं, असद शफीक जो है वो यंग बैट्समैन है. उसने
आपको
पहले
याद है, आपको याद
T20 के
होगा
उसने कि
कराची में
T20 में उसने
T20.
बहुत इनिंग्स खेली.
हाँ, आपको कराची का टूर्नामेंट याद होगा, उसने ये इनिंग्स खेली थी. And the commentator was like, हाँ, that was 10 years ago, man. Calm
But
down.
he also doubled down कि भाई असद शफीक जो है वो यंग बैट्समैन है और क्या कहते हैं, he is the one who will guide other batsmen. It's like, dude, no. लेकिन इससे ये पता चलता है कि असद शफीक is playing test cricket as long as Azhar Ali is captain.
I
There's
mean,
no way he's
Basically,
getting dropped.
as long as Misbah is coach and Azhar Ali is captain, I think Asad Shafiq की जगह पक्की है.
For sure.
नया selector आ रहा है.
Who are they making?
Don't know yet.
Rashid Latif
Shoaib?
suggested that Sana Mir should be chief selector, which I think would be a pretty interesting choice. She
I think
probably
someone
has
would think
more.
Shoaib Akhtar is also in contention.
I think
Oh really? नहीं, I don't think Shoaib
a
Akhtar.
lot.
Shoaib Akhtar ने
I
बोला
don't
था
know.
अपने channel पे. I think he said कि Mohammad Akram is one of the people that they're looking at.
Huh. Okay.
Like he was in. There were a lot of rumors going around that Shoaib Akhtar is probably going to be the next selector.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's it's going to be
Shoaib
interesting.
Akhtar has clout, man. मतलब YouTube के ऊपर बंदा 1 million plus views हर वीडियो के हो रहे हैं उसके.
Yeah, maybe he should make a guest appearance on our channel.
I
Maybe we'll
agree.
cross 10.
I mean I agree. He'll even do it, man.
Yeah.
जिस स्पीड से उसकी वीडियोस आती हैं रोज अपलोड करता है. छोटी से छोटी चीज के ऊपर अपलोड कर रहा है वो,
I
मतलब.
mean, he is an entertaining guy, man. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean he's entertaining, but I don't know. I don't watch them anymore. There are way too many.
Okay.
Yeah. Chalo.
I
Any
think this
last
was,
thoughts?
yeah, I think this was a good discussion. I think the only thoughts that I have on the tournament overall was, I think the one thing that again was highlighted today in the final was that even though teams seemed a little, mismatched, which they definitely were, weaker teams definitely put in a good fight, and tried to win the game, and it wasn't just like, oh, haar gaye, kya hua, and it wasn't a typical, Pakistani collapse, which we've gotten so accustomed to. So that was I think a good sign. I think some new talent, batting talent, on display. Unfortunately, not as much bowling talent, especially in the spin department, on display, which was a little sad because I think in our international team that's kind of what we need right now. But yeah, I think overall it was a pretty good tournament.
Yeah, it was competitive and it was fun to watch. I was watching it with IPL and trying to contrast it. So I obviously think IPL was shit and this was much better.
Yeah, I feel that's right. But I think the only team that wasn't very competitive was Balochistan, बेचारे. Good team भी इतनी बेकार थी. Okay, Asad, your final thoughts?
बस it was a great tournament. My only thoughts were कि थोड़ा सा बेहतर manage हो सकता है, like better streaming services, better marketing. So I'm hoping they would get into that next time around. But other than that, I thought it was a great tournament.
Yeah. Actually, that brings up a pretty good point. There was also that COVID controversy where some people broke the bubble and were allowed back
Right.
in. But I guess that we can discuss that at a later date. Those of you watching, share your highlights of the tournament. Any thoughts on where PCB could improve? I'm sure they're following our channel as well, looking for feedback. So yeah, I thank you
Thanks.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.